Hey guys! In this video, we're learning about New York. I actually went to New York. We stayed in Manhattan. We visited the Natural History Museum, the Statue of Liberty, Times Square, the New World Trade Center, and the Niagara Falls. We even ate street food from food trucks. All information in this video is collected from facts.net. So, let's begin. 1. The Big Apple is a famous nickname for New York City. In the 1920s, a horse racing column in a local newspaper used this phrase to refer to a big money prize at popular horse races around NYC. The journalist heard stable hands in New Orleans call NYC the Big Apple, that all horsemen aspired to race at. Hence, New York has been affectionately dubbed the Big Apple. 2. New York sits right where the Hudson and East Rivers empty into a premier harbor. As such, the city became a preferred exit towards the world's oceans. 3. Manhattan used to be known for its oysters. When the Dutch arrived in Manhattan, they saw massive oyster beds around the city coastline. It is for this reason that Ellis Island and Liberty Island earned the names Little Oyster Island and Big Oyster Island. Oysters rose to fame in NYC in the 19th century. In fact, their shells served to pave modern-day Pearl Street. Moreover, they also lined the masonry of the Trinity Church. 4. New York has a 150 feet or 46 meters deep hole. Found between 36th and 37th Street in Park Avenue is a hole as deep as the height of a 15-story building. 5. Unclaimed bodies in NYC are buried in Hart Island. The island lies off the coast of the Bronx and is not open for public access. By 1869, the island has been home to around 1 million buried bodies. 6. New York City boasts a 520 miles or 837 kilometers long coastline. This distance goes longer than the combined coasts of Boston, Los Angeles, Miami, and San Francisco. 7. New York City is home to the first headquarters of the United Nations. It was established in 1952 after the end of World War II as a designated international territory. 8. The first native people to occupy New York were the Lenape. As members of the Algonquin community, these people farmed, fished, and hunted in the area connecting the Delaware and Hudson rivers. 9. New York City was previously called New Amsterdam. When the British seized the territory from the Dutch in 1664, they branded it with New York City. For the following century, New York City witnessed growth in the number and diversity of its population. Aside from immigrants from England, France, Germany, and the Netherlands, there were also indentured servants and African slaves. 10. NYC is the city with the most billionaires in the world. Over 500,000 millionaires reside in the city as well. By the way, if you are enjoying this video, a subscribe to my channel will be wonderful. I want to reach 100 subscribers at the end of this year. If you are already subscribed, share my videos to your friends. Okay, now back to business. 11. In the winter of 1780, New York Harbor froze. People can walk from Manhattan to Staten Island on the ice of the New York Harbor. 12. New York City was witness to one of the first acts of domestic terrorism. Back in 1920, a horse-drawn carriage trotted down Wall Street. The explosives that it carried killed 30 people upon detonation. However, no one was caught and held accountable for the terrorist attack. 13. Legitimate cowboys once patrolled the west side of Manhattan. Their main job was to avoid possible accidents by tussling people out of the way of incoming freight trains. They were phased out by 1941. 14. November 28, 2012 is a historical day for New York. For the entirety of the day, it was the first time ever for the city to have no recorded reports of a stabbing, shooting, murder, or other violent crimes or incidents. 15. The New York Pizza Connection is an economic principle followed in the city. It states that the average price of a pizza slice must match the cost of a subway ride such that when one increases or decreases, the other tends to follow suit. 16. It is legal to go topless in public in New York City. In 2018, New Yorkers even celebrated a Go Topless Day parade, wherein participants walked around topless in the city. On the contrary, farting in a church is considered a misdemeanor. 17. The first pizzeria in the U.S. opened in New York City in 1895. It was called Lombardi's. 18. 275 out of 800 known North American bird species take shelter in NYC. This feat makes Central Park an amazing place for birdwatching activities. Experts claim to spot around 100 species each day during spring migration. 19. The The Statue of Liberty in NYC is a gift from France to the US given in 1886 for the centennial celebration of America. Shipping of the statue took 350 pieces in more than 200 crates while assembly took over 4 months. 20. New York City subway station is the busiest subway system in the whole of the United States. Also, navigating the entire NYC subway system would take around 24 hours. 21. Oculus NYC is the most expensive train station in the world. While construction of the train system cost $4 billion, its design remains to be the simplest. Designer Santiago Calatrava created the Oculus that way so that the likes of his mother can easily find their way through the station without the confusion that dimly lit train stations usually cause. 22. The deepest subway stop in NYC is the 191st Street station at 180 feet, or about 55 meters, below street level. On the other hand, the highest subway stop is the Smith 9th Street station at 88 feet, or 27 meters, above street level. 23. New York City's Federal Reserve Bank keeps the world's largest gold storage. Its vault, which is 80 feet, or 24 meters, below ground holds over 7,000 tons of gold bars which is worth approximately $90 billion. 24. The narrowest house in New York City is only around 9 feet, or 3 meters, wide. It is located at 75.5 Bedford Street, West Village, 25. Times Square was named after the New York Times. Its original name was Longacre Square, until the New York Times moved there back in 1904. 26. The Low Line in New York is the first underground park on the planet. Its location is on the west side of Manhattan. On the other hand, another park in the city is named the High Line. 27. The Beatles member, John Lennon, was shot in the archway of the Dakota in New York City. Mark David Chapman shot the band member on December 8, 1980 in this famous building in New York City. Since 1973, John Lennon has been a resident of the said building until the day of his murder. 28. The design of the Central Park Mall was meant for wealthy New Yorkers. As it is the only straight path in Central Park, the Central Park Mall allows the richest of the rich to stroll, socialize, and show off on the said street.